It is really nice to see such a good turnout. It's great to have you all here again. It's something we did very ad hoc last season, was trying to get people together to release the fixtures. How last season ended up going, it was then a no-brainer for us to try and make it a little bit more formal and a little bit more of a process for today. We've obviously got Scott here, Liam Kelly snuck in the room, so we'll try and speak to him a little bit later. First and foremost though, welcome back. I know it's been a quick summer, certainly for us, maybe for some supporters and sponsors in the room. The 1 month summer that we've had has maybe dragged on a little bit longer, given the excitement of the new season. We may as well speak to Scott, as you're here to hear from him rather than me. How was the summer?
Yeah, good. Had a couple of holidays with my family. So yeah, really nice. Really nice to have some time away from football. Having said that, I probably worked every day that I was away in terms of phone calls and speaking to players and speaking to the owners and bits and pieces, and actually watching players as well, sometimes in the hotel bar. So yeah, it's been busy, but it's been good, been enjoyable, been nice to spend a bit of time with my family.
When you look back now on last season, and you stand here again, we stood here a year ago, completely different. You're standing next to the trophy from last season. You're preparing now for a different league. It's only been a month since all of that happened. Do you feel like it's all happened now? Or are you still waiting? Maybe when the players come back in, when does it change for you, and you're suddenly going, right, bang, this has all happened. It's real. We enjoyed it, and we're on to next season. You're probably going to say a minute after the full-time whistle went at Wembley. But I know there's certain people in the room that probably still feels a little bit surreal with the whole bubble of last season, particularly the sort of May and the playoff bubble.
Yeah, I think today actually is the reset, because it's fixture release day. You know, that's the day when you start now looking forward. You know, I've spent 5.5 weeks really reflecting on what we achieved, which is obviously promotion. So I'm really proud of that. And it's good to reflect. Why shouldn't you? You know, you put a lot of effort in, and a lot of work goes in. And when you achieve something like this, I've been in football a long time, and you know, times like what happened at Wembley doesn't come around very often. So it's important that we do really embrace that and reflect, you know, fondly on that, and which I have done over the last 5.5 weeks. But I think today now is a reset, fixture release day. You know, it's time to now look forward. And what we've achieved, and we should be always proud of that, and we are. But now it's time to really look forward now and to prepare for what's going to be a really tough season in League One.
I'm conscious we started a little bit late, so that's on me. So before your phones start pinging and stuff like that, we've got a little video just to run through some of the highlight fixtures, bank holiday games, opening day, Christmas, and all sorts. So take a look at this, and then we'll run through the fixture list in a bit more detail. a little bit of a taste. Scott, before we go too in depth, and I don't want we've got to play every team twice. We've got to do all of that. No cliches. First and foremost, we're at home on opening day. First time you see the fans, properly in a competitive environment since Wembley. Season ticket sales have been unbelievable. New sponsors unveiled, all that kind of stuff, and against one of the league's bigger clubs in Blackpool as well. So a really nice start to the season.
Yeah, exactly. I was really pleased with the first game actually, because I wanted it to be at home. We were at home last season and we had a real positive performance and result against Bradford. So yeah, we've been good at home, and of course I know we've been good away as well. So, but yeah, really pleased with that first fixture. In fact, listen, they're all hard games, every one of them. That you can't categorise them and start thinking about, right, we can do this and we can do that. Every single game is really hard, and I think if you start categorising them, you're probably in the wrong sport. You have to look at every game as if we've got to prepare properly for every single game. We've gone up a division. There's some top teams in that division now, and we've got to really focus and concentrate and prepare for every game like it is a cup final, because they will be. But I'm actually really pleased that we're at home on that first game, no matter who it was against.
So where do your eyes jump when you sit down and look at a fixture list? Is it former clubs? I know you go back to Lincoln. Is it ones where you're going, where we're getting the biggest crowds? What was it that stands out for you? I think people will look at that and go, we're going to places like we're going to Birmingham on a bank holiday fixture. So are they the ones that really excite you and stand out, or have you got any sort of personal ones that you like as well?
Not really, not so much. I think the first thing I look for is the first game, obviously, and then you kind of look down the list and you look at them that first 2 months really, and understand whether you feel in your mind what you can achieve in them first 2 months. You always look at the Christmas period, and then the next thing that I look for is, have we got any long Tuesday nights, believe it or not, because
you're not happy about one, are you?
Well, I just don't understand it. In fact, I'm not happy about 2. The Exeter game away from home, I don't understand the 29th of December fixture anyway. Years ago it used to always be Boxing Day and New Year's Day, didn't it? Now all of a sudden the EFL have thought within their wisdom to slide another game in between, which is tough on the players, really tough on the players. And I don't understand that fixture anyway, but certainly don't understand Exeter away on that day. It's a long journey, but it is what it is, and the other one that I don't quite understand is a Saturday, January the 25th, Stockport County away, and then Tuesday the 28th, Mansfield away. So we've got Stockport away, up and down the country, and then Mansfield away, up and down the country. So I usually look at where, and they normally do sling an away trip in on a Tuesday. But as long as we're at home on the Saturday, I'd be happy. But we're not. We're away at Stockport. So yeah, I always look for that.
That being said, I know you're very modern in your thinking of you looking after players. How are they spending their time? One thing they're going to be doing less of this season is travelling. I think the coach guys sitting on the right hand side will tell me it's about 1,000 miles less, right, this season. Slightly more than 1,000. I did looking this morning. It's like driving from London to Barcelona. So that it's a lot of hours that the players are not going to be spending on travelling really. Stuff like that must please you when it comes to you're not now going to Barrow, Carlisle, or the really long ones that I know you sometimes dread, and you're spending hours and hours sitting on motorways.
Yeah, listen, it's tough. And people, I know there's a lot of people in here who work really hard and have got tough jobs. I understand that. These lads, they have to play and perform at an unbelievable rate. 90 minutes of sheer running power, and to be on a coach for 4 or 5 hours before and after that, it is tough. And I'm not, I'm sure that some people in this room, if not all of you, have got tough jobs and find it hard. In your lives, I understand that. But these boys, they work extremely hard throughout the day, in their training, and mentally as well. It's tough, mentally to turn up at stadiums where there's 5,000-6,000 people, if not more this season, at some places, and to perform at a really high level. It's tough mentally, but certainly physically, them long journeys have been hard. And I remember Notts County away. We travelled on the day You know, I made reference to that in my press afterwards, and I thought that was tough for us to do that, but we had to do that because that's where we're at as a football club, and I thought it was tough for us to travel on the day and play Notts County, but you know, that's kind of where we are. But yeah, I think it's hard, but I am pleased that there isn't as much travelling this season, definitely. I'm sure the players will be, but yeah, I think, and looking at the fixtures as well, I think, you know, certainly in the first 2 months it kind of evened out quite well. There's a couple of tough away journeys there as well, but I think it's kind of evened out reasonably well. You know, there's not too many. Wigan away quite early, apart from that Burton away, and then, you know, Wickham away is quite local, Reading away is quite local, Northampton's quite local, so that first 2 months it's not too bad. So yeah, pleased.
So I think it's obviously well documented the size of some of the clubs in the division. When you break down sort of how many in recent years have been in the top flight and bits like that. On a personal note, is it, you know, how excited are you to get going and pit yourselves against other managers in a level up and to be going to the biggest stadiums and you know, fingers crossed more games on TV and small things like that. That's got to, on a personal standpoint, excite you for the new season. Yeah,
not so much personally, but for the players, I think it's important that the team are exposed to playing against good clubs, you know, big stadiums in front of big crowds. I want my team to be exposed to that because I think you find that we improve because of that, you know, and I think that's important that we do that. From a personal note, not bothered. I couldn't care less, you know, really, if we play in a park, as long as we play well and perform well and win. But for the players, it's great, and you know, I think that the players will really embrace that. And I think we're the type of team as well with the way we play. We kind of, you know, puff our chests out and our shoulders back a little bit, and we'll take on anybody. You know, that's the kind of environment that I've tried setting, and the confidence that I've tried putting into the team. And you know, we'll back ourselves to go to some of these big clubs and perform and win. You know, we're not here to make the numbers up, let me tell you.
You mentioned obviously appreciation for the fans that work so hard, that kind of gear their week towards getting to wherever we are on a Saturday. When you do look at, again, the rewards of some of the away games in the league this season, just the back end of last season, it was our highest ever away crowd was at Sutton. That was then broken. We went to MK, and then we had attendance records galore for us at Wembley. How important can they be? How key is it? How much appreciation do the players have? And they really can create a bit of an atmosphere, and no doubt numbers next year will be as high as ever, whether it's home, whether it's away, and there'll be a really good buzz.
Yeah, it's really important, and I think today's great for the supporters. I was speaking to a few guys while I was getting the coffee, and you know, today's all about the supporters as well. It's not just about me as a manager and the players to organise what we're going to do. It's about the supporters to look down that list and plan what your year looks like. You know, what games you're going to go to, what games you can't make, what games you're going to come to at home. I think it's fantastic for the supporters for this release day today, and to really get to grips with what you're going to do and how it looks. And listen, it can massively help us. I firmly believe that the support that we had last year has a real reasoning behind why we got promoted, for sure. You know, you were the 12th man, you were brilliant at home, brilliant away. Every game you supported us, even when we were rubbish, which wasn't very often, mind. But Swindon away, I remember we were rubbish. But you still clapped us off the pitch and we got beat. Was it 6? Was it 6 or 7? I can't even remember. I forgot about it, about 10 minutes after the game. But you supported us brilliantly throughout the season, so I'm really pleased that we're now in a division where you can really get to grips with going to some really good stadiums. You know, you look at some of these teams here, ridiculous. You know, Charlton Athletic, Birmingham City, Bolton Wanderers, Wigan. You know, some brilliant stadiums. It'd be great for the supporters to embrace that and experience that.
Scott's due to speak to Sky shortly, so we'll let him crack on in a minute. Just before you do, and we try and get some words out of Liam Kelly, did you want to give a little bit of an insight now? Because, you know, again, the players are back in Monday, but, you know, we've got one pre-season game here against Crystal Palace again next season. What does the next sort of 6 weeks kind of look like from your perspective? You enjoyed last season, didn't you? Yeah, you really enjoyed it. When you look now at planning for next season, I think you're going to sit here and tell me you must have looked at where you're going to be playing Reading, going back there. Is that something that you do look for? Are you looking forward to going back to clubs you played for before and again taking the next step from where we were last season?
Yeah, I think Reading was the one that I obviously looked for growing up there. But I think just generally having a new season in a new league, like the gaffer said, playing against some top clubs, the likes of Bolton, Blackpool, Barnsley. It's exciting, but like the gaffer said, we're going to the season fearing no one, and yeah, it's just something to look forward to.
And how was the summer? Is pre-season going to hit a few of the lads maybe a little bit harder than they think off the back of some late celebrations?
No, it was a summer that we had to enjoy. What we did in the playoffs, you don't do it often, so we had to enjoy it. Probably drank a little bit more than we usually did, but no, Rick, the sports science guy, has given us a good sort of off-season programme to get our teeth into. So we've been doing that now for 2.5 weeks. So it'll be 3 weeks by the time we're back in on Monday. But yeah, it's just the usual stuff that we're all used to. We've all been in the game long enough to know what we're going to need by the time we come back. So no, it was an enjoyable summer, yeah.